Good afternoon. You're watching Retail ME TV, and today we have a very special guest joining us on this virtual session. He is Roman Kolodnev, who is the VP and General Manager of Honeywell Safety and Productivity Solutions in Middle East, Russia, Turkey, and Africa. Thanks so much, Roman, for joining us here.
And thank you for inviting, Shruti.
My pleasure, absolutely. So first things first, Roman, how are you doing? How are things right now? I know it's been a very difficult or a very busy time rather for the tech sphere. Has it been the same for you?
Yeah, it's very dynamic time indeed. So we working on a lot of interesting projects, and this change in the dynamics of retail keeping us busy, and also our customers on the opportunity to compete and grow their market share. So it's an interesting time.
This year, and from the regions that you manage, specifically Middle East, what are the trends you see that will dominate the retail industry?
So first of all, in-store and e-commerce becoming more and more connected. So there is less and less difference between these two, and actually many retailers currently using their brick and mortar stores as micro fulfillment centers. So it's a great opportunity with modern technology to allow in-store personnel both to support customers that are there and also pick up orders for either in-store pickup or e-commerce delivery. And that's very important for one of the most important trend, I think, within this 2020 or 2021. One thing changed: expectation from customers. They expect immediate delivery. So same day, it's becoming more and more mandatory, and next day is actually something acceptable, right? And eventually, I think this is the biggest change and pressure for our customers from retail to be able to address this kind of growing customer demands, and actually for brick and mortar retailers to enter and successfully compete with e-commerce giants.
Sure, it's actually interesting you mentioned it, because again, obviously customer needs and expectations have changed, and they expect things almost instantaneously. However, it's also the different demographics that respond and react differently. For example, the baby boomers, they have a particular way of, shopping, and their behavior is different from a millennial, from a Gen Z. So if you had to sort of break down these three broad generation demographic, how would you do it? How are the behaviors of these customers different?
I think obviously the younger customer, the more acceptable it become to e-fulfillment, IT, and other features. So I think they actually driving the most of the modern transformations right now. And with this kind of customers, e-tailers, especially electronic commerce players, are testing many of new technologies, making the interaction with retailers more dynamic and personalized. It's kind of hyper personalization, and this first group is driving technology in predictability for the needs and customers. Of course, it's much easier to see on the first page stuff that you need, rather than go through the whole portfolio of specific retailers. So this hyper personalization is one of the trend that younger generation accept very well, and actually they do not accept the other thing, the retailers and e-tailers in which you have to spend time to get what you need. So that's one influence from the younger generation. And two other groups I would say I can put in one area, because still doesn't matter younger or older people, they prefer more or less the same approach. They're very well familiar with brick and mortar in-store shopping. So even those who is actively using e-commerce, they still see some stuff in store, but then order afterwards, right? And for the older generation, I think what they do and how they influence, of course, the technology that is used by associates in store, helping to increase quality of the older generation that still expect to store in store, right? And technology, even for these kind of customers, help to locate the inventory, for example, specific size or color within your store or outside of this store. So basically, technology is shaping the behaviors of both customers that gets familiar with something new, and also improve expectation and customer feeling for the older generation.
Right, absolutely. So again, you know, you've spoken a little bit about how showrooming is done, and then there's also the element of discovery which happens. You know, there are certain verticals of retail where you see the products in store, you touch and feel it, and then you buy it online. But then there's also the reverse transaction happening where you see the product online, where you discover it online, and then you want to come and buy it in store. So there's all of these different interchangeabilities happening, and that's probably what omni-channel is about, right? It's about being where the customer wants you to be more than, you know, being a multi-channel approach. However, you've spoken about how customer experience is changing and how customer expectations are changing, but retailers today are still struggling in reaching customers at the different locations and at the different platforms they want to be reached at. So in this context, what would you say are the main pain points or the challenges that retailers are facing today, and how would you as a tech solutions provider come in there?
You know, to reach customers, it's actually right now became probably even easier if you utilize tools like, and obviously electronic commerce. With electronic commerce, you can reach endless count of customers. And I think in general, those who implement and those retailers who deliver customer expectation comparable to leading electronic commerce brand, they actually expanding their customer base from old in-store kind of shoppers, because they have a luxury to have both, right? They have these in-store locations that could be used as a demo room and etc. And also, in case they can fulfill efficiently the e-commerce order, they expanding into this area. So eventually they're reaching more right now. And I think the key, definitely for me, is also a shopper to capture my attention is, first of all, this personalized approach, especially if I'm visiting a website of retailer, and the speed and fulfillment and ease of use. So less number of clicks, right? Less number of calls. And our technology allows to make the fulfillment supply chain more efficient. So from days to pick up, pass to company and deliver order, we right now living actually in hours time frame, right? So this one thing where we can help with our WMS systems, also fully automated warehouse solutions like Honeywell Integrated, which is basically sorts and deliver orders within minutes. And also we can help with the reverse logistic, because the bigger quantity of deliveries, the bigger number of returns. So software solution and hardware solution dedicated to that, that's a couple of things that helps retailers to improve customer expectation and win new customers.
Sure. So returns, you've mentioned it, and returns is something that has come up in every single conversation we've had in the past. So, you know, there's obviously a lot of fuss around returns, and then there are obviously the tracking of the return journey, etc. So at this point, would you say that the higher number of returns is a metric to determine the success or failure of that journey, or is it how a return is tackled and handled that is more important and predominant?
I think it's about efficiency of return. Of course, especially if the order was prepaid, customer expect to make this return happen as soon as possible. And basically, if the interaction on the return is happening in store, they want to make it as efficient as possible, not to stand and not to wait associate, but come to some kind of kiosks and basically make this return happen immediately. Just leaving the goods that they live in. And some of our products, like our kiosk printers, allow to do that.
Sure. Okay. So another thing that you've mentioned is about how, you know, the role of the store, etc., is going to change. We've been having conversations about, you know, how boring retail is dead. There's no point of talking about brick and mortar versus e-commerce. We know that both of them are going to survive right now. However, if any of these arms is boring, then that seems to be a problem here. For you personally, what would a smart retail store of the future look like?
So first of all, it will be fully personalized. I think personalization to shopper is one of the key things that differentiate good and great retailers. And in future, for sure, this personalization will become more and more significant. So up to the situations when actually the store will know customer needs better than the customer themselves. So this artificial intelligence is already working pretty well in many of e-commerce stores, but this is one of the area to evolve. I think definitely in-store shopping will never disappear. So that will be a great area to showcase the product, to showcase and test something, to have face-to-face interaction with consultant for those who prefer go this way rather than search and research the internet. So eventually, however, part of this consultation will become online. So suggestions and consultants and video support of customers, that's something that will definitely appear. And of course, the in-store associates, they will be enabled with mobile technology to serve their customers. And basically, right now, we've seen already in many top retailers tools that allows to respond to customer immediately and basically to know if they're missing something, where to find it, to have some specs of the product if customer is asking. So this empowerment will go further. And in my opinion, soon it will be pretty much fully automated and unnoticeable to in-store customers. So it will be voice technology that basically suggests to associate how and what to interact with customers. So this frictionless process of communication will continue. And of course, definitely contactless. So we already see that cash is pretty much disappeared. And I think the more and more self-service machines, for example, as return self-service machine, which I highlighted, and basically whole shopping experience all the way will be truly contactless, because with RFID, there is no need to put items on the cashier belt and etc. So this automation and actually even automated payments will be a trend for the future. So that's how I see this future of retail.
Wow, so over there itself, you've mentioned a bunch of sort of trends that we've seen in the past. Some of them have failed, some of them have succeeded, some of them have taken the entire future of retail forward. For example, I think self-checkouts, when it came in earlier, there was again a little bit of a backlash from the customers in terms of the acceptance of it. Maybe it was just not the right time, and maybe it could be a better time at some point in the future. Where would you say that the investments of retailers, considering a cash crunch, considering an economic crisis, should be focused in? They don't have all the money in the world, but then they need to make these investments at this point itself, right? To get the whole journey right. So, you know, considering limited resources, where would you suggest they should be putting their money in?
I think fulfillment improvement of supply chain is one of the key areas because it addresses one of the most important customer expectation, fast delivery, right? That is quite inevitable that from same day delivery, soon customer will expect immediate delivery. For example, when we come back to offices, it will be quite common to order groceries before you leave the work on your way and to arrive and to have all the groceries delivered for you to cook the dinner. So basically, that's one of such examples.
Okay, great. So going forward, what would you say is something that the retailers need to look out for and be aware of in terms of changing customer journeys, experience, and expectations?
As we couple of times discussed, the speed of fulfillment will be expectational speed of fulfillment will be becoming more and more demanding for retailers. So that's one of the things. Personalization for sure. Retailers that currently have a store without personalization, unless they're selling something unique, will be less competitive. Then customer definitely will expect this contactless delivery or pickups because it becoming less and less required for shoppers to visit shops. And also, I think basically these suggestions and delivery of the trends from retailers to their customers will be also one of the areas. And the data, fulfillment, speed, and artificial intelligence on analyzing the data.
Right, and how about like buy now and pay later? I mean, this is something that has been doing the rounds of late. Is it just a fad which wouldn't really affect the retail industry, or do you see some sort of potential there as well?
Can you repeat the question? I didn't get it.
Sure, yeah, I'm talking about buy now, pay later. So buy now, pay later has been making strides across different industries, especially when it comes to payment. You did mention payment and easier payment, cashless, contactless being very important. However, with this side of things, do you think it could potentially disrupt the payment in the retail industry, or is it something that won't really affect retail?
I think payment industry probably it will not affect significantly for sure. However, the new ways of payment will definitely come, and I think the future will be to automate this payment process as much as possible. And of course, big players in payment industry will invest to compete. Eventually, I think we will soon be in time when the payment immediate payment on the store will not be required at all. And technology, like for example, the self checkout machine, they involve in. So if you look into the first attempts to implement this technology and what we're seeing right now, it's already a big step, right? But eventually, I think these payment solutions will go the way that customer will basically pay automatically. So it will be probably not later, almost immediate in my opinion, but the process of checkout will be improving more and more.
Great, amazing. Thanks so much for joining us, Roman. Thanks for your time. Thanks for those quick insights. And hope to see you in person next time.
Yeah, same too. Thank you very much, Rudy.
Thank you. Bye. Have a great day.